Hey guys, how you doing today? It's me, Kelly. So I'm going to sit and work with my Americana multi-surface paints. I have blues and purples, I have gray, and I have Titan Buff. And I am using the, where'd my Titan Buff go? Right here from DecoArt Media Fluid Acrylics. And I have an idea in my head and I want to use it on here. This is just a piece of watercolor paper that I cut in half. I don't know how long it really is, but it's double this, obviously, that way. And I'm going to be working with my water-soluble pencils, which can be anything. You can use water-soluble crayons. You can use, um, you know, Crayola watercolor pencils, anything that you got. And all I'm going to do is mark out what I'm using, and then I'm going to go, or what I'm drawing rather, and then I'm going to go from there. So I want this to be the whole face. Okay, and I just want to make sure I'm in camera. I'm trying. I'm a little whacked out here today, so we'll see. I'm not going to worry too much about hair. I'm just going to very lightly kind of sketch. And like I said, nothing really has to be on point right this second because I'm just kind of sketching. I want an eye. We'll see how it comes out. I don't know. You never know. Do an eye there. I think it might be too far this way. We'll see. I can always cut paper off, right? Gonna do a nostril. Kind of looking like a pig. But I don't care. I'm drawing it a little bigger because I'm gonna be wetting it. So I'm not gonna worry about that too much. And then the lip here. Let's see. Go like that. And down. Like that. A little dip there. And I want it to be exaggerated. I want it to be big. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole kind of thing. So let me try to put, so I'm going like this with my eye. Gonna do that, and I want, and these are good to do because you're only doing one eye. You don't have to worry about how spot on it is, you know. And then I want just to be kind of flowing into that. An eyebrow. And I see that the face is off, but that's all right. I'll play with that. But I don't want this to go necessarily all the way over. All right, so maybe I will play with this so far and see. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm doing a giveaway, and I see my phone just keeps showing up people, writing. So excited. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a wet paintbrush and I'm gonna kind of blur this out. Now I'm using watercolor paper because it's gonna really help absorb the water, because I'm not using watercolor pencils or paints necessarily, but I'm going to be adding water to the black. But you can use whatever color you want. Now I'm going to probably do outside here a little darker or something to show off this, but for this I want to kind of draw her chin so I have an idea, and I kind of want, this really should have been here. Yeah, see how much better that looks. All right, so I'm gonna kind of go for it here and commit. I'm gonna commit. And then I'm gonna take my brush again, it's wet, and I'm gonna just blow that out a bit with some water. And you can just use a regular pencil and go to town. You don't even have to do this. Use paint. Maybe next time I should do some paint. All right, and then I'll just use regular acrylic paint and do this kind of thing. That will be fun. All right, now I know over here I'm gonna have to do an eye. Really didn't want to. I probably should have started her over a little bit more, but I don't know. I'll get to that when I'm done. I'm going to put my brush and dry it for a second, and I'm going to take a smaller brush, not too much smaller, maybe like this, wet it, talk like that while you're doing it because I don't know. All right, and I'm going to go in right now for the lips. And I'm activating all this so I have an idea of where I want everything to be. And as I wash it out, you can see the gray, and that's really what I like. That's kind of what I'm going for. Who knows what I'm going for? We might change it all at the end because that's just how I like to do things. But I'm probably going to be adding her to a canvas. So, we'll see. We shall see. And I'm just going in. Kind of like that. And what I'm going to do is make sure I have everything activated the best. Now I didn't gesso. If I would have gessoed, the gray wouldn't have sunk in as much, the pencil, when I wet it. But I don't care so much really. I'm going to be using it, you know, and putting paint over it and all that kind of stuff. So this just gives me my lines. But you can gesso it if you want. You don't have to though. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry it with my heat gun, and then I'm going to seal it. And I'm going to seal it with my Spectrafix. If you don't have Spectrafix, then please, you can use, I just saw this, I know a lot of people do this with their aerosol hairspray to seal things. I have Krylon fixative, workable fixative. You can get Krylon fixative. You can use Spectrafix. You can use hairspray. You can make, which I've done many videos on, you can take your decoupage with a little bit of water, warm water in a spray bottle, shake it up real good, give it a quick spritz, and leave it sit. Because you want this to kind of be fixed a little bit before we go on to the next thing. If you're not using any water-soluble pencil like I am, and you're using acrylic paint, then you don't have to do any of this. So I'm just giving this a quick spritz, and I'm going to blow dry and start with my next colors in a second. Okay, so seems dry for the most part. I'm okay with some of the gray smears, not going to worry about it too much. So I'm going to take some Titan Buff, and that's going to be my base. Now I'm sitting here deciding whether I should cut some of this off here, because I don't want all this face on here, and I don't want a full eye. So what else to do but just give it a cut. Take some of that off. I can do somewhat, I don't know, but I'm going to take that little bit off now and worry about it later. So I'm going to take some Titan Buff, and this is from the Fluid Acrylic Titan Buff from DecoArt. And that's what's going to go into the face. If I can find my paintbrush. I know I just have my paintbrush somewhere. Here it is. And you can see I have water in it. As it was sitting down, it's okay. But you can see I'm going over the face and some of the black and gray, and it's not doing anything. For the most part, I just see the nose smudge because that was a little bit wet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Americana Drying Time Extender Medium, and I'm going to show you what that does, especially because I can see that it's already starting to dry on here. DecoArt, most of DecoArt's stuff, let me shake it up real good, dries very fast. And I love it because I like things that dry fast. It's great for mixed media. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my Titan Buff, and I'm just going to put it here. Just a little squirt will do ya. And then I'm going to do a couple of drops. And what this is going to do, it's going to let this stay wetter a little longer than if I didn't use it. And it doesn't change the color, you can see. And if I go over parts of this that, you know, I need to add more black or gray, I'm okay with that. but it just gives me a little bit more working time so it stays wet a little bit longer. But if you don't have it, you can add a little bit of water. It won't hurt you. Okay, I just kind of want to get, I see the nose is still a little wet. You could see it running a little bit, but I don't care. I just basically want some of this in here. I'm going to go back in probably with more gray. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to rinse that off. I'll try to rinse my brushes off here. So, okay, I'm going to hit this with my gun. Use your hair dryer. If you don't have a gun, heat gun. Remember, heat guns are really only for embossing. If you have a hair dryer, use that or go to the thrift store. They always have hair dryers on sale there for a couple bucks. Or just leave it sit for a few minutes and it'll dry. It's one of the things I love about the DecoArt paints is they dry fairly quick. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to put in some shadows with some blue. Now, I'm gonna, let's see, I want to start with a lighter blue, although, like I'm looking, and this might be for later. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily use Blue Lagoon. I don't know if I want to use that one. It might not be as dark as I want it, but I want it. Okay, I'm just going for it. I'm going for the blue. I'm going for Blue Lagoon. Blue Lagoon. And maybe I could talk when I'm done. It's been a really bad week for me. All right. All right, so I'm giving it a shake. Remember, these are satin, so they have a little bit of shine to them. I'm just going to lay a little bit there. I'm going to add a little bit of my drying time extender. Just 2 drops, nothing major. I'm going to take my smaller paintbrush. I'm going to mix it all up into some gooey deliciousness. And I'm just going to kind of go in. I'm just going to go for it. Where do I want first? I think I'm going to go in here. I probably should have added some white. Maybe I will now. I maybe even should have gessoed. Who knows? We shall see. I'm just going to add a little bit of white. So it lightens just a little bit. And the reason I want this to dry a little slower is because I want to blend some colors. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how it works. Things in my head do not always work how I want them to. I should probably draw an eye over here, but right now I'm just going to go in like this. Get this all covered. On the face. All right, you know what? I'm going to have to probably... Okay, so I'm just adding some of these. No big deal. I don't want necessarily that over there, but what I'm going to do real quick, I think I'm just going to have to draw an eye. So let's see. Maybe I'll put, I don't know how far. I don't think it's going to make it that far over, so. Okay. Now I'm just going to wet that real quick just to activate that. I don't need it necessarily so even because nothing is really even, is it? here. Take off some of that black. I just dry my, I go like this, drag it through, and then dry it on a rag, and then, or a paper towel, whatever you're using. Just to pull off some of that because I don't necessarily need all that. Okay. So then I'm going to take this blue again. And I didn't fix that yet, so it could very well come off, but I'm okay with that. It'll just mix in. All right, and I'm going to add a little bit of the blue. Because I might want the eyes a little color. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to dry that and suck up some of this. Q-tip works good too to suck up. I just feel when you're working with water soluble anything, sometimes you put too much water on there. I'm okay with that running though. I love the running. I love things that look like they're going to cry. All right, now I'm going to take just a little bit of my Titan Buff on its own. And I'm going to do a little bit of my, where'd you go? My extender. Just a drop. I'm going to mix it together. And kind of go in and mix this now. And see that blue underneath there is still damp, and that's what I want because I want it to blend a little bit. And I'm using the smaller brush now, still, rather than going in for my big one yet. And I'm working on this as the darker sections. And kind of like pulling it out. And then I'm going to take my gray paint. My Payne's gray is going to be what I'm going to kind of outline everything in when we're done. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to paint this in a little bit with some brown. Okay, so now what I want is a little darker, and I'm going to use True Blue, and that's in Americana Satin as well. Multi-surface, rather, I should say. I'm just going to mix it here. Just put some on my brush. I'm just mixing it with that white. I don't care too much because that mixative's in there and extended drying time. And I'm just kind of going to go over. And the reason I'm going over the light is because I want to cover the light, but not all of it. It just gives it a, I don't know, just for me, it just gives it more dimension. Tell you what it doesn't give me is I need a better paintbrush here. I better pick a different one. Paint you in. Paint a little bit of the nose. Take a darker right there. I know, hot mess, right? That's why I like to paint, because I don't have to have anything. I can just sit and play, and if it doesn't come out, it doesn't come out. But in my head, I'm at least getting out on paper what, to me, could have been a good thing. All right. So now I want to add some of, I'm going to pull some of this blue. So I'm going to wet my brush. I'm going to dry it a bit. And I'm just going to kind of pull this out. Pull down and cover in the rest of this face. kind of needs a neck. I'll just keep pulling it, pull color down there. Go over this, kind of blend them a little bit. And see how I can kind of blend some of that. I'm not going to worry about it because I can always put purple and blend it, but I'm just going to go with my brush. I'm not going to worry about them eyes or anything right now. Yeah. I just want it to look sketchy. All right. Purple, purple, purple. I'm going to go in with Purple Sunset. I think that's brighter, the brightest one, and I think that's what I want to use. We'll see. Just a little bit. Now, when I cut her out, I can even cut this off to make it a little bit more. I mean, don't get hung up too much on yourself thinking, you know, if you're doing something like this, whether it's this or, you know, whatever you're doing, try not to get too hung up on it and just kind of play. Because what's the worst thing? It's a piece of paper. You either throw it away or you throw paint on it and make it a mixed media background. That's how I look at things anyway. All right, so I'm going to go in here. Her eyebrows would be around there. And just kind of lightly drag it. You can tell my watercolor paper is getting a little bit wet. Now that would be the benefit if you gessoed it. You wouldn't have to have that problem. But because I didn't, and you know, it's not a big deal if you don't. Just working with a lot of water, that's what happens. I'm going to pull this through. And I look at this as if I'm doing a mixed media background, which means that I like some of the blue coming through. I like that. So for me, this is how I do it. I can do all this, throw paint on it, and I'm happy because some of all the colors come through at some point. You know, I'm not really covering all of it, and I can go back in and pull out different colors that I want if I want it. Throw in her neck there a little bit. So when I cut it, I have some there. Now I can take my brush and wet it. I can go back in and lift a little bit of this because I want that sunset-y look. Do you ever, you know, when you look out sometimes you get those beautiful sunsets that are got the purples and blues in them. So I just want to lift up some of this. Add some more purple around here. Okay. Now I want to add some white real quick just to lighten up certain areas. I mean, not white, I'm sorry, Titan Buff. And I'll go in there with my finger. I should probably, you know what I'll do first? Add a little extender. Okay. And then mix it up. Mix it up. I'm going to go in and add highlight here. And blend it in. And her cheek. You can use your makeup sponge, you can use your brush, whatever you want. Just want to add a little bit of highlights here. And then I'm going to blow it dry. Some highlights here. And then go back and work on the face itself. See how it's just moving all that paint? Just adding a little bit of highlight in there so it's not as dark there. Think about when you go out in the sun and you're out in the sun too long, what parts on your face get sunburned? That's where you want your highlights. The top of your nose, right? That's going to get it. On top of your cheeks, right? Because they protrude out. A little bit on your chin. I'm running out of paint. So you want to add a little bit of that light highlight in those areas, because that's where you're going to get the burn. And then you can go and smush things together if you want it a little bit more together. Now I'm going to go and blow this dry so we can go on to the next bit, and then add her some hair or something. We'll see. Okay, so now we're going to go and draw. I'm going to put a little bit. Now I dried this, and what I did was I put my fixative over this eye a little bit, because I love using the fixative when I'm doing this, because what happens is, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but you can see all the colors that I used, and it's all underneath, and it's supposed to look painterly. It's not supposed to look like a regular face, so to say, when you're doing it. But I want those colors to come in as I add more colors. Now, the only thing I'm going to change is I'm going to take a little bit of that purple I had here, and I'm just going to add it here into the lip dip. Just a little bit. And I will put a little highlight there when I go back with whatever I go into highlight with. But see, it kind of looks like a mustache. I just kind of play with it a bit to blend it in, but you have that bit of color there. And that's what you want. This, we're going to put other color on anyway, so. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe this up because I'm going to get working on the eye. So I'm going to pull it close like this for a second. I'm going to take my water-soluble pencil. Use whatever you have. I have markers that work. I have pen, you know, whatever you have. What I'm going to do is just kind of give me a little more dimension in this and get this kind of like the other one. I'm not worrying about it being too like it or too not like it, because we're going to blow out the pencil. So but I'm going to do that, and I'm going to take my small brush and just kind of give it like that. And I can even go back here and make this a little darker if I want. And then go in. Maybe I'll use, where's my gray? I know I have my gray. Gray. My Payne's gray. All right. I'll put a little bit of my Payne's gray on. Or not. The heck, Cal. Okay, just a little bit. And I just want it like faded a little bit. So I'm kind of going to go in here. I am going to use, you know what I keep forgetting is my extender. Let's use a bit of it. Just a drop. Just to give it a little bit more of a extended time as I sit and play. Taking most of it off. I'm going to go over here for an eyebrow. And as you can see, I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see all the, I can see here, and I'll lift up, I can see the purples and blues, and this is just going on top of it too, so you're still, I rhymed. You're still kind of getting that. I'm going to go down here. The nose. some of this out. So I want this area a little bit darker. A little bit over the eye darker. Okay, I want this in here dark. I'm just scrubbing, you know, I love to scrub. Scrub a dub with my brushes. I'm going to pull it over here. Just so that's dark in that eye. See how it's kind of gray? Mix them with those colors. Do a little bit here. I want a little bit here. Go over this. I want a little bit under here because it's going to be darker. I don't even, I'll probably, it's getting long on here. Maybe I'll do a speed throw. Who knows? Who knows what I'll do? Alright, I'm just going to kind of go in here a little bit more. And then I want this to be, don't know if I'm going to keep the neck, but I want to, while I have the stuff out, I can always shade it. And then if I cut it off, it's no big deal. Just going to shade it there. And then I'm going to kind of shade it here. And just rub it so it blends. It'll get a little bit later as you blend it out. Alright. I know up here I want a little shading, but I might have to wait because I'm out of the paint. That's okay for me. Now I think for her lips, let's try Lavender Fields. It's from the Americana Multi-Surface Satin. See, I was going to do her really all gray and black, but now I'm just playing and just kind of going with whatever it brings me. See how good this stuff spreads? I mean, I just put a little bit on there and it really does. And I don't care if some of that black gets in here because it's just going to give me some shading. And I'm just drawing her to put her on a canvas. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. Then I can do a mixed media background and then put her on that. Put some, it's going to be a great highlighter too. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of this up here. I love these Deco Art paints. All right, so now I want to put in, let me try to get some of that black away from, I know here we go, sealed it, but I put a little bit more when I drew it out, so. Just want it to blend a little bit. Okay. Now, what I would do at some point here, I might do it, I might not, who knows, depends on when I look at it again before I do my background. Take a Titan Buff, water it down a bit, and then paint over to lighten up. I might do that, I might not, we'll see. But that's definitely something that you can do. I'm going to take the dark purple again. just a little bit on my brush. This is Iris. And I'm just gonna kind of line this a little and drag it in. Kind of lip liner, kind of not. We'll see. I like doing big lips sometimes. I don't know. Call me weird. Alright, now I'm going to take a little bit more Titan Buff. I'm going to go in. I want to kind of highlight certain areas. I know it's going to need it here. That's still wet, but I can tap it in and it'll blend. And then up here, I'm going to go over. It might be too wet still. We'll see. Try it. Okay. Now I'm going to go for, I'm going to add, I'm not going to do white, I'm going to use Titan Buff again for the eyeballs. So I'm going to kind of go in there and add a little bit. I'm not going to be too worried. Just want to add a little bit. I don't want to add white because that might just come off a bit too bright. But if you want, add white. So you can see the difference of the white here and here. It's just a little bit yellow, more beige. Got that. Now I'm going to do the eyes again. I'm going to take a little bit of the blue. And add some blue. Maybe a little bit of the Titan Buff mixed in for different colors. Leave that dry, and then I can go back in, do my pupil, and do that. Now, the thing is, for me, I'm going to be cutting this out to put it on a canvas. So I want things a little more, I like the outline of it. I don't know why, I just do. So I'm going to go in with pencil, pen, whatever you have, and I'm going to go in and kind of figure out, kind of sketch it a bit. way I want the lips. I'm gonna, probably should use the pen, but where's my pen? I know I have a pen. I know I have a pen somewhere. Yeah, this isn't my good pen, but let me just say. It doesn't say. I can't find my. I know I have, like, I just bought tons of new pens. Oh well. Yeah, maybe I won't do that. I'm afraid that if I do that, it's not going to be what I want it to be. Alright, so I'm going to kind of go like this. Like that. And you can see these eyebrows. This is kind of going down, so I'm not too worried about that. This has a little bit of shading, not too much. Apparently stuck my hand in paint somewhere. Who knows where? And then to go in and outline the eyes. I'm digging them eyes like that though. A little bit of pupilness. Now, what kind of hair would I do? I don't know, but that's probably it for right now. I'm gonna, when I cut her, I'm gonna cut a little bit of that. Maybe I'll just do it now. What the hell? What the hell? While I'm on here, just so I can show you guys. So I'm just cutting. First, I'm gonna cut out. Now, let me tell you, save these little papers because for ATCs and stuff like that, you can use your papers. Don't throw it away. Don't throw it away. So see how, like, she's looking? So I'm going to curve this a little bit as if it's her head and take that off. And I'm going to go down close to her eye. I'm going to cut some of that. I'm going for it. I ain't even going to stop. Like that. Oh yeah, much better. And then let's take these corners off. Don't exactly know what I'm going to do for that. Don't even know if I'm going to give her a neck or not. We'll see. But in general, that's what I'm going to do. So for this, right this second, I'm going to take a little bit of water on my brush and just kind of activate a little bit these pupils. Yeah, activate. Why do I forget Q-tips when I come in here? Because I wanted to use Q-tip. Just take the edge of my brush, which is damp, not real wet, and just kind of do that. And then the lips, just going to very lightly, barely touching it. Going to activate that. I want some of that dark in the lips. Like that. The nose here, just going to run it straight down. Just a little bit, just so it's not so harsh. And that's what I'm going to spray, and then I'll be back and do a canvas, and then I'll kind of edit this down a little bit more and fix it, maybe do some hair. I don't know. I just love all the colors. I don't even know how well you guys can see all the colors in there. I love it. So I'm going to decide what I'm going to do, but for now, I'm going to spray them again because I don't want anything to move. Just like that. And I'm going to move her. And she's going to dry, and that's it. So let me know what you guys think. I'm just playing around. I got these ideas in my head, and I want to kind of, better clean this off soon. I want to kind of get them down on paper, and they never come out like I have them in my head, but the whole canvas, I'm excited because kind of what I want to do. Let me know what kind of hair I should give her. If I should give her no hair or maybe just stars or something. I don't know. Let me know. And check out these Americana paints, multi-surface paints. They are awesome. I will see you guys later. As always, be kind to each other. You never know if somebody else is fighting. I love you guys so much. Bye, guys.